Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome everyone to the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. We'll continue our Gita Yajna, Gita Jnana Yajna. So there are many kinds of yajnas, as we discussed before. Ravi Yajna, but this is Jnana Yajna, which is like Japa Yajna is considered the greatest. So we are doing chapter 9 from the original scripture, Bhagavad Gita, that is called Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yogam, the chapter on royal secret and royal knowledge to take us to the ultimate goal. And it is a secret. That is why Raja Guhya means very great secret. So whenever the God will teach only to the people who are deserving candidate, not for everybody. Like when you go for a PhD in Caltech, so they will select only so you're all selected by Lord Krishna that you are the deserving candidates, and others also who are on Zoom, so that is the blessing. So whereas it comes to the one we have Gita Vahini, the commentary, it is chapter 20, and in the soft copy it is page 90, and on the hard copy it is page 183. So here, as I said, we were talking, this is very important. It is exactly in the center of the Bhagavad Gita, this chapter 9, and there are many important shlokas. Swami says, like they are crest jewels in these things, particularly shloka 922, and 927, 929, everything, the last few shlokas, where they profound Brahma Vidya, because we should remember this Bhagavad Gita is a Brahma Vidya, highest knowledge anybody can have. You can have physics, chemistry, biology, medicine, law, but the highest knowledge one can have is Adhyatma Vidya. That is why Lord Krishna says, Vidyanam Adhyatma Vidya. He says, of all the knowledges, I am Adhyatma Vidya. So for great people, if you are educated, PhD, but you don't have this, for them it is uneducated. Actually, there is a beautiful story of Sri Ramakrishna, I will tell you later, how that man was very scholarly, but, oh, you are educated, that means we don't have knowledge of God, that means you are not educated. So it is not the secular knowledge, but it is the highest. So there are two vidyas, Upanishad says, Mundaka Upanishad, Paravidya, Aparavidya. So, aparavidya means secular knowledge, like physical sciences, material sciences, astronomy, geology, and all those things. Whereas the paravidya is the knowledge of Brahman. So, that is what we are discussing. So, last week, I need to clarify, I had some questions somebody wrote, because even the editorial for the Mahashivaratri I wrote, was talking about Lord Shiva, how he is the supreme Parabrahman. They also call him Devonki Dev Mahadev, that's the greatest Lord. So one man, a great devotee from Sri Lanka, he wrote, "Oh, Dr. Reddy, you say Shiva is Parabrahman. I read Srimad Bhagavatam recently, where they said Lord Narayana, everything came from Lord Narayana. How is it?" And then says, also I thought Swami is Parabrahman. Then I have to respond. That is why we need to have a clear concept. What did Swami say? There is only one God. He is omnipresent. So you call him by any name. So when you call him Shiva, he will respond. And when you call him Vishnu, he will respond. When he will call him Allah, he will respond. When he call me Christu, that is why when we sing, we forget that. Sarvadharma's prayer at the end of our session, we sing. What do we say? Om Tat Sashi Narayana, to you are Narayana. Siddha Buddha, you are Buddha. You are Skanda. You are Vinayaka. You are Rama. You are Krishna. You are Yesu. You are even, they say Tao, that is Chinese, that nicely included everything. So you think this is the only thing, that nothing means you are ignorant. These Krishna conscious people, everything is good, but Krishna is the only God. That is the ignorance. Or same thing, Mohammedans. That is why in the name of religion people fight. But once you know there is only one God, then all those doubts will disappear. But you can go and worship God in different forms, like the sweets. I like gulab jam, somebody like Mysore pak, somebody like in the form of cake, somebody in the ice cream. Underlying sweet is the same, but the manifestation, how it is, same thing. It could be Ganesha, it could be Subramanya, it could be Jesus, it could be Buddha. So, for example, when I went to Israel, when I went to see those Jesus place, I had highest spiritual experience as I had when I saw Swami. The only two places, Swami and in Israel, when I went to Nazareth, Bethlehem, and because how you are connected to the divinity, that is very important. So so it doesn't mean, so because these people are confused whenever say, oh, he is Brahman. And people who know the Vedas you read, so if you read Ganapati, other version, Sisham, I don't know how many know. They say, Brahmastam, Vishnustam, Rudrastam, Agnistam, Vayustam, Suryastam, Chandramastam, Brahma Bhurbhavasvam. You are Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, you are the sun, you are the moon, you are the thing. When you are chanting the Aditya, worshipping, is it okay? Worshipping sun god, same thing you say, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Skanda, Prajapati, Mahendra, 22 gods they say. And you are mother worship people, they say, so Lord Mother, Divine Mother, Karangulina Kotpanna, Narayana Dashakruti. Mother's nail, all these Narayanas, 10 avatars came to see how powerful divine. So each one, whatever you think, it is Supreme Brahman. That is why when Swami was telling, there are two people. One is worshippers of Shakti, Divine Mother highest. They think that is the highest mother. His power is highest. Then some people, this Krishna consciousness people, then they said, oh, only our Lord Krishna can take you across the river of samsara. Then this the word Shakti has said, yeah, our mother, I employed him to take across, to show the supremacy of the mother is greater. So each one, there is all ignorance. That is what Swami showed, unity of faith. That is why in his discourse, always he said, Sarva Rupa Dharam Shantam, Sarvanama Dharam Shivam, Sachidanandam Advaitam, Satyam Shivam Sundaram. So he says, I am all forms, not just only human forms, divine form, all forms, everything, and all names, Sarvanama Dharam. I am the supreme peace. I am Sachidananda, knowledge, existence, bliss. Advaitam, there is only one thing exists. And for me, I couldn't understand. I read it from childhood, but really, when Swami came in the life, he made it really. It is not theory; it is a practical. In our own family, Swami one name, one form. In our own family, so for Haima, Swami appeared as Lord Venkateshwara because the Venkateshwara was her chosen deity. She was confused. So then, when she saw in the sanctorium in the temple, instead of Swami, instead of Lord Venkateshwara, she was the same thing. And same thing, my mother, Sri Ramakrishna Paramsa, they were initiated by the disciple. She was confused. Then when she saw in her dream, when she was going near the bullock cart with Sri Ramakrishna Paramsa, he was there in the cart. Suddenly he changed into Swami. So, and my father, he had a vision of Swami when he saw that it's physically in Purnachandra as Krishna. He saw, instead of seeing Swami, he saw blue complexed one, which is Krishna. And many people you have heard, right? And Swami gave the appearance of Shiva to whom? Anybody knows here? As we related, Sheshagiri Rao, the one first priest of Swami, he was a very orthodox Brahmin. He didn't believe in Swami. Oh, I don't want to go to this man. He is not a Brahmin. He is then who wants to go? And Swami showed how he was the Lord Shiva, and he lost consciousness for 3 days. He was so blissed out. And also he gave that same vision to also Subramanya Shastri, the one who composed that Gayatri, Sai Gayatri. So just like that, why there is some problem with the lighting, Sanjay? Huh? I think there may be the switch on the back. Some Karthik took it another place. Maybe it is not in the full. No. See? It's a clue. That's why I actually gave the clue. I'm not a technician, so always you need to think, and Swami gives the idea. So even though it is a minute detail, this is what Swami says. Talking about is good, but the people who are seeing when the light is proper, they'll appreciate. That is yoga karma sukhaushalam. Attention to detail, even there. Whatever it's talking, whether the sound, sitting, everything. Anyway, coming back, Swami gave the appearance of Lord Rama to who? We know, when we know Swami, we should be interested in Swami's history. What somebody whom you love the most, you want to know everything about him, right? So he gave the vision of Rama to Raja of Venkatgiri. When he saw first time, he saw a huge figure and he fell flat at the feet of Swami in the road. And his own mother, Ishwarama, just before she passed away, she was excited. He told that Swami is Lord Rama. To another great, like everybody is going to Ayodhya now. That time Swami took some devotees to Ayodhya. So one Ram Sharma, one a great devotee, he saw Swami as Rama and just completely blissed out. And Krishna, we always know, Hislop, Dr. Hislop had the vision. And there's one great, this book I carry here, the Gita Makrandam. This is written by, commentary by Vidya Prakashananda Swami. There is a great saintly man from Andhra. So he went to see Swami. So inside, what do you want to say? Swami, I want a picture with you. I take it because he's a sadhu, a saint. Then he says, I have a wish, I want to spread the Gita. I think, yeah, you are blessing. Then he says, you want me to have the vision? Then he saw Swami completely as Lord Krishna. He himself recorded this because he did Krishna's work, spreading the message. He saw Swami as Krishna. And Burgul Ramakrishna Rao, he was the governor of Uttar Pradesh. He was governor of Kerala. He was a great devotee of Swami. He is the one who facilitated Swami's visit to a lot of places like Badrinath and then Rishikesh, all those. So Swami at the end of his life, he saw Swami as a Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. And people have like Jimsai, he saw Swami as Lord Buddha. And people saw Swami as Jesus. That's what I'm telling is, he's all names and he's all forms. So whenever you see, whether you go to a church or a synagogue or a mass, think it is the same divine presence. So that is the thing. So that question they had, and it says, there is only one God omnipresent, that is Supreme Parabrahman, who is manifest in many forms. Like Sri Ramakrishna, you say, oh, why do you worship Mother Kali? Why do you worship? He says, I want to enjoy fish, not only curry, sometimes fry, because then Bengal, fish is considered a vegetable. Like Jalapushpa, they call that. They eat, Brahmins also eat fish there, so are Swamis. He says, You get bored, same thing, you get fish as fish fry, another time fish curry, another time fish. Similarly, God, you want to enjoy in different forms, different names, different forms, but at the same time, never forget it is the same Brahman. So if you forget, that is where the conflicts and confrontations, wars, misunderstanding came over all these millennia. So that is because I'm clarifying because I got those questions still in people's mind. They have Shiva is great, Vishnu is great, Mother is great, or Jesus is good, or Buddha is good. All are same. There is no difference. And another question last week, even Chiranjeevi sent, and no, before that I'll clarify. I said Swami is not interested in flowers. He loves it everywhere. Prashantan, everywhere he used to take garlands. We also garlanded here flowers. But main thing what we need is what pushpa he wants? Hridaya pushpa. So the flower of the heart without the insect. And there we talked about Ashta pushpa, 8 kinds of flowers. I told last week some of them. Anybody remembers? Ahimsa pradhamo pushpapa. First flower is ahimsa, non-violence. Don't hurt anybody by your thoughts, words, or deeds. That is the important thing. That is the first flower. Pushpam indriya nigraham. Second flower is control of the senses. Because our senses, oh, I want to eat that, this restaurant, this place I want to go, mine. Or I want to see that place, this place, go to this movie, that movie. The eyes take that there. And ears go there, oh, I want to hear the friends gossip, there's rumors. So all these senses, they take you in the bad direction. So control the senses is very important for spiritual seeker. That is, the Swami says, because our eyes sometimes see the wrong things, like if people go to movies, what is there most of the time is excitement, violence, and sexual misconduct. So how can you purify that? By seeing God's pictures, God's video. And here are bad things, ears polluted. How do you purify? Listening about God. We talk about other critical speech. How do you purify? Singing bhajans, repeating japa. And your legs are spoiled by going to wrong places, places of gambling, places of entertainment, dancing. You go to places of worship, temples where God is worshipped. So that way, second important flower is Indriya Nigraham, control of the senses is very important for us. So nobody likes to have that, but it is recommended as much as possible. And third is Daya Pushpam. Third flower is Daya Pushpam, compassion, compassion for the less fortunate people. People who don't have food, give them food. People who don't have water, give water. People who don't have education, try to support their education. People who are sick, try to help them for their health care. But most important service you can take is take people to God. That is the greatest. All the others are service, but when you take to God, that is the ultimate service. So that is the Daya Pushpam. And then Kshama Pushpam. Fourth is Kshama. What is Kshama? It includes both forgiveness and forbearance. So in life, we have the resentment, we have grievances about people, things. So we should be able to forget and forgive and endure the difficulties, forbearance, like all these great examples of Pandavas, how they went through that, and then Sri Rama, even avatars go through, even Swami when he was a young boy, how much torture. So, fourth thing is Shama Pushpa. And then fifth is, how many I said now? 4 or 5? 5. And one is Ahimsa Pradhamam Pushpam, Pushpam Indriya Nigraham, Daya Pushpam, Shama Pushpam. And then comes the Shanti Pushpam, peace. So always peaceful, calm, not agitated, excited. So if you're happy, peaceful, and there is a flower. How do you get peace? Simple formula Swami gave. This we talked many times. There are many things he wrote Prashanti Vahini, but simple thing is He repeatedly says, I want peace. Remove I, remove want. That means that remove the excessive self, too many desires. I want this, I want to go that, I want this car, I want to change that car, I want this home, I want to change that. Too many desires, you won't have peace. It's very clear. The more desires you are, the more peaceless you are. The less desires you are contentment, you will be peaceful. Second is I, ego. I am this, I am great, I have no this knowledge, I am handsome, I am beautiful, I am knowledgeable, I am powerful, I am. So, this is another great obstacle. So, these two are I want. So, the next pushpam is Shanti pushpam. Then pushpam is Jnana pushpam. That is knowledge of Brahman. That is what we are discussing right now. So in Gita, Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, you talk about, when you are thinking about it, you are offering really worshipping God. It is not just we are reading it, but you are worshipping God. So Jnana Pushpam. And then finally, most important Pushpam, eighth, Sathya Pushpam, truth. So nowadays people compromise for every little thing. Swami says, my name is. One time I said, Swami, this Sai Baba. Only there is one such Sai Baba, that is Shirdi Sai Baba, next is Prem, but Satya Sai Baba. Satya is truth. Vikala Bhadyam Satyam. We should always be truthful. If we compromise truth, then we are really betraying ourselves and God. So, truth at all costs, that we have in our history, that is what beauty. So many examples like Satya Harishchandra. An example is an emperor. He gave away his kingdom, not only his kingdom, his own family, and he was in a burial cremation ground where he was tested how much you can sacrifice for the sake of truth. And your own son's burials, he was trying to be truthful and collect the taxes. Like that, Harishchandra. And there are noble people, Shibi. There are so many. Bali is the Emperor Bali, where we chant Onam. He was also truthful. He gave a word, I will give you 3 feet, and he was completely crushed. Not only he lost all his kingdom, but he was sent into Patala, another world. But he didn't compromise truth. That is very important. We all need to, sometimes for simple things, oh, they don't want to go to some place, I will come, just to make them happy. Speak obligingly doesn't mean a dwell untruth. You should be, if you don't, just keep quiet. But say something word, I want to do, and don't do that, that is untruthful. You have sin of telling falsehood. So we should be very careful. That's why Sri Ramakrishna gave the example before. He told somebody, I'll come to your house this evening. We all forget. He's drama teaches. He forgot. So then at 9 o'clock he remembered. And then that is the night, in the night. Oh my God, I forgot, I gave a word, he was all, it was napping, he was very feeling sad. Then, better I go to this house. In the night with a hurricane, those days no electricity, no street lamp. Take a hurricane lantern, went to that house. At the same time, he was respectful, he didn't want to wake them up. They will be sleeping in the villages at 8:39. So he went there, touched the door sill, the hole. I told you I will come to your house. I came, touched, and went away. Till then, says my heart is clear. Now I have no untruth. People go to that far. Whenever you say a word, we should really give very serious importance to what we say. Otherwise, don't say it. Keep quiet. So you're handsome and you don't mean that. And you say this is good, you don't mean that. You said you will come, you don't mean that. Just silence is the best. Then you won't have scope for lies. That is why Satya Pushpam is another. These are the 8 flowers we should offer in addition to roses, carnations, marigold. They're all good, but this is the 8 important flowers. So next week when I will ask, somebody has to repeat all the 8 flowers. Okay? So this is the profound thing Swami is teaching. And another thing, you had a question about karma. Right? Chiranjeev, you asked about thing. Yeah. And what will do? I said, God will think. But yeah, right. So this is law of karma is inexorable. That is what our scriptures say. There is no choice. Not only our scriptures, even Christians. The Bible says, what does Jesus say? As you sow, you reap. It is recorded in the Bible. Jains believe in the law of karma. Buddhists believe in the law of karma. So karma is nothing but the actions we do. If you do good, you will reap good. If you do bad, as simple as that, there's no complication, karma. What is it? If you do good, you will have good results. If you do bad, you will have, Swami beautifully said, if you put a seed of mango, mango tree, fruit tree will come. If you put a thorn seed, something, thorn bush will come. So don't blame that white thorn. Similarly, whatever we sow, we reap it. So we are the architect of our own destiny. So we should be very careful. So what we think, what we say, and what we do is having consequences. We decide our own birth. I told you, so even where we are going to be born, so whose parents or where's place and what will be is all determined by our prarabdha karma. So the way to get out of the prarabdha karma is the spiritual practices, what we do, and also by the divine grace. That is why in the scriptures it is written, if you do all good karmas, you are giving charities, you do penance, you do worship, you are very respectful to people, you are compassionate to people, then you will go to higher lokas, you go to heavens, Svargaloka. So you'll have good time, you can eat any amount, no stomach pain, no indigestion, you'll have good time with celestial dancers, Urvashi and Rambha and Manaka, so all that, and then you'll have good time. But the problem is, once it is finished, your punyam, you have to again come back. That is why Lord Krishna clearly answered, Shine punye martya loke vishanti. So once that is gone, again you have to born again, same thing, you will be born and you'll go to school, get hit by the teachers, and they take the exams and look for a job, what to promotion, again, all this again you have to repeat. But good day, you had went to a nice place and came back. But if you do bad deeds, then they say you'll have tiryak janmas. That means the lives of birds, bees, insects, animals. So that is what you will be. Not only you may not be born as human being, and we have talked many times the stories in Shirdi Sacharita how two brothers they hit each other. They were born as goats. They were born as goats because Baba gave them peanuts. And then two people who hated each other, one was born as a cobra, another was born as a frog. So at the same time, you can evolve. And one lady, Kaparde, he's a great man, he was a lawyer. So Kaparde's wife, he said he gave so much importance. Why you are partial to her? He says she was a cow before and yielding a lot of milk. So next life, it was born as a gardener's family, in a gardener's family, because then she was even still good. Then she was born in a Vaishya family and she was born in a Kshatriya family and married to a Vaishya. And finally, she born as Brahmin. So you can also go down the hill to be born as a cobra or a frog or a goat, or you can be evolved to that. So it is in our hands. So that's why he says, don't do the good karma. But so good karma, there's a problem. You go there, come back. And bad karma problem. So what is the way out? Whatever karma you do, even good karma, Sayarpanamastu. Lord, it is yours. Then you will be liberated. That is the way for Jivan Mukti. That is why whole emphasis by Lord Krishna in Gita is Nishkama Karma. Do work without craving for the results, recognition. That is the whole secret. Same thing you will do, not anything. If you're a doctor, you say patients. You're a businessman, you do business. Whatever you do, but give the fruits to that. then you don't have to come back in the cycle of birth and death. That is the whole secret. So Nishkama karma is that then you won't have to come back as a cycle. So you will be Jivan Mukta, you will be liberated, like repeating. So this is the law of karma. So people who have done all the things like question, suddenly they may be doing all their life spiritual practices, good things. Suddenly for whatever prarabdha, they may have go into a coma or they may be in thing, but they don't need to worry about because all their life, subconsciously, God will think for them. The Lord says, I will think for them. And it is even saints, we know that. Ramana Maharshi, he had cancer. They had to be removed. Sri Ramakrishna, he had a throat cancer. He couldn't even swallow. And Swami Vivekananda, at the age of 39, he died of complications of diabetes. Because they showed even you are a saint, you have to go through these difficulties. But how they face, because of the divine grace, still they are always tuned to God. So these few questions came last week, and some people wrote to me and some asked. So I thought before we proceed to clarify those. I think probably it took all the time, but now we can continue on page 180 thing where Lord Krishna is explaining that I am same for all people. I have no partiality. You can continue there. If you want, you can anything you did your homework, you want to read, you want to say, please share.
Sairam. Did you notice the loving words of Krishna, the shower of his grace? How true are his words. Really, people do not understand the faults in themselves. They seek faults in others. If the Lord has faults, how can the world exist or survive? The Lord sees all as equal. His heart embraces all in love. That is the reason why the world has at least this much of peace and prosperity. The doctor may declare that the patient has no fever just to console the sick man, but the thermometer cannot lie. God knows and reacts to the inner feeling, not to the outer appearance. He can never go wrong, nor can he be deceived. The world considers only the outward appearance. It is guided by that alone. Wade in the river. Then only can you know the depth of the water. Eat, if you must know the taste. When people pronounce judgments on the depth or the taste without waiting or tasting, how can their declarations be taken as true? If the Lord himself was affected by partiality, how could he award the bliss of Sayuja to the cowherd maids of Vrindavan? Would he have partaken of fruits partly eaten by Sabari? Could Janaka have become a Brahmagnani? Could Nandanar have achieved the grand vision of the Lord? Could Prahlada and Vibhishana have approached the Lord? Would Hanuman have been accepted as the messenger of Rama? Could Valmiki have written the great epic Ramayana? Do these indicate any partiality in the composition of the Lord? Or do they prove that he has no such trait? These are examples of the Lord's prema, his uniform kindness to all. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. This command of the Lord means just this. Keep your mind steadily on me. Be devoted sincerely to me. Prostrate before me, offering all your thoughts, words, and deeds to me. Love me steadfastly, he has commanded. He has thus indicated that what he most desires in you are a pure mind and untarnished love. So I'll stop there because this is as when you read a lot of the verses in chapter 9 and as well as chapter 10, it is really Lord Krishna explaining to Arjuna his omnipresence. As humans, we label things. Whether it's good, bad, but what Lord Krishna really is emphasizing here is whatever it is him and it is his will, and that he is impartial. So if we are identifying somebody as bad or somebody or something as, bad or not right, it's really whatever is happening is the will of God. I think recently I've heard of a couple of, world leaders who are actually Sai devotees, but maybe some of the things as leaders that they have committed are not consistent with a lot of our Swami's teachings. However, it's not really up to us to make that decision. We get sort of information of the outward appearance. And here, what Lord Krishna specifically states is because when we're in that worldly vision, we focus on that outward appearance. But what he knows is what's truly in that person's heart. And I always think about Valmiki too, how he incarnated so many times to then eventually, he started as a thief and a criminal, but then with all of his penance through lifetimes, he then writes this great epic of the Ramayana. One of the things that really stood out to me in this reading was when Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that what God wants from humans is this untarnished love and a pure mind, pure thoughts. So I got to thinking about untarnished love. For a lot of us, as in a human existence, things are very conditional because we have this attachment to what's physically in the world and what's physically around us. We have an attachment to the name that we're given. We have an attachment to the body that we're given. So if there's something that causes a feeling of pain, then sometimes we identify with that pain or we identify with that health condition. But many times when we're offering prayer or penance to the Lord, there's also a condition attached to that. Even that love where we're praying for something specific. When you're a child, you're praying to get straight A's on your report card. You're praying for your team to win the soccer tournament. I also think about surgeons. Sometimes surgeons, when they're going into surgery, there are some who might pray for a good outcome. But at the end of the day, what is the outcome? The outcome is really the will of whatever that person's, path is. And it's divine will. So really, it's that prayer, thy will be done. We pray for whatever God's will is. And that untarnished love that we give to God is knowing that through this life that we have, this human existence, God is always with us, just like that Footprints poem, where God is carrying us in the times that are most painful, but also walking next to us in times of joy. And I think when we recognize that and we recognize our own gratitude for God's grace, then the tarnishes of some of the conditions we put upon God tend to come off. And that love is much cleaner and more pure.
Anybody else has any comments? That is very important. That is why the whole God wants is pure love, is a pure heart. That's why he said, I am Bhava Priya, not Bahya Priya. That means I'm not into your outside worship, how much vibhuti you put, or the namas, the thing, or akar robe, or white shirt, or I'm not garlands. Main thing is, what is your bhava? What is your spirit? Swami says, I am bhava priya, not bahya priya. I'm not interested in outside rituals, outside details. So what is there That is why here, I don't know how many of you know, he gave example one after another here, the various people of various backgrounds. That Shabari, she is a tribal woman. She was not educated, she was not into things. She had one benefit was she had satsang, good company of the great sages. So she always heard from her guru, oh Lord Rama will come this way. That's all she knew. She didn't know Puranas, Vedas, and Samhitas, but she had that absolute faith in Lord Rama, and then she waited. And what all she did was going down, cleaning the place, thinking about him, collecting fruit. And yeah, all of you know when Lord Rama came, he tasted those fruits. It is sacrilegious to God. You never offer something which you tasted. But he did it with so much. Lord Lakshmana was upset, but Lord Rama was really released. He was, oh, it's so good, so nice, because he saw the bhava. That is why so many people have to do tapas. She saw Rama only one darshan, only one darshan. And in that thing, she merged with him. People have to do tapas for thousands of years, you see in here. But she did only, I asked Swami, she gave only one darshan, she merged. I am having coming so many times for your darshan. What is happening? You are seeing only one darshan. But how much preparation she did. Every day her mind was completely on the thought. Oh, so Lord is coming here, so I have to clean this place, I have to put this. So her mind is not really mechanical cleanse. Her mind is completely penance for all those years thinking of Rama. That is why that she was ready. One darshan in the Yoga Agni, she merged with that. So that is the thing. So she is tribal. And then Nandanar, I think I told you the last time also, Nandanar. He is from Tamil Nadu. He's a Shaivite, considered one of the 63 Nayanar saints. So he is untouchable according to those days, old days, they don't allow them, people in those caste, people who are like cobblers, clean the restrooms and all that. So he was working in the farm, so he belonged to that caste. But he has good karma that he had love for Lord Shiva. He had bad karma that he was born in that surrounding, because all his people in that community, those people, they're all drunkards, bad habits, but he's the exception. Like Vibhishana among the demons, he was an exception. So he could be an exception. So he was Nandanar, he had love for Lord Shiva. I told last time also how he wanted to go, and then Nandi was obstacle, and then he moved even to give the vision. And then finally he goes to a place. Does anybody know Chidambaram? That is where he goes. That is where he wanted to go. That is where Nataraja, Chidambar Nataraja, we sing also the song. So he goes there. He was the untouchable, but he was graced by Lord Shiva. When he wanted to go there, people he know he's not, he's untouchable. So he goes into the dreams of all the priests in the Chidambaram, all the priests. At the same time, how can chances? Says, this man is coming, he is my Bhakta. Lord Shiva himself says. Then there is it, and he goes through many tests too. So he is background he is giving. And give the another example is, say, maybe a small child, Prahlada, 5-year-old child, and also he belongs to the demon clan. His father is a demon, but still he could be a child from family, still you can have love for God. That is the example he said. And Hanuman can say he's a monkey. Monkeys, for us, we can worship as God, but for people, yeah, he's a big monkey. So just, but the love for he had for Lord Rama elevated him to the divinity. That's why in the Hillview Stadium, the highest place given is to Hanuman's statue. It is the highest. All the others, including Shidi Baba, Jesus, everything is done, but Hanuman is the thing. So you may be not only a human being, but you could be a monkey and still do that. And same thing, Vibhishana. He was a demon, and his brothers both were bad, Ravana and Kumbhakarna. but still he had love for Swami, love for Lord Rama. And Valmiki, we know already, you talked about how he was the thief, but how he was transformed. That means Swami is giving all example, whether you are a child, or you're a tribal person, or you are untouchable, or you are demonic, or you are a thief. You have a chance as long as you have pure heart and you have love for God. That is the most important, rather than what caste you belong and what lineage you are. Important is purity of the heart and pure love for God. That is important. I think this time is up. I think if anybody else has any questions, if not, we'll